Hi, this is RJ with rjloans.com, and the second C we're going to talk about is credit. Okay, so credit. The general rule of thumb, and I'm talking about FHA loans right now. Under FHA loan guidelines, we want to see a minimum of 24 months credit history. Typically speaking, the old rule was 3 to 5 years, but again, generally speaking, the FHA guidelines is we want to be able to see, as a direct mortgage banker, which is what I am, we want to see a minimum of 3 to 5 opened accounts, and we want to see each of those accounts with an average of 24 months being open. Now, what does that mean? What that basically means is we want to see a credit history, and at least 3 to 5 accounts are going to open up a credit history of who you are as a creditor. Now, the true essence of an FHA loan, it used to be that there wasn't a FICO score requirement to obtain an FHA loan. Well, rules have changed, and we're in a different environment now. So the general rule of thumb is an FHA direct lender is going to look at a FICO score 580 and above. Now, let me make a big fat disclaimer here. That 580 is discretionary because of the fact that our credit scores in this environment that we're in right now have deteriorated. And what we would call that FICO score, we would have to do what's called a manual underwrite, which means it's going to require a lot more documentation, a lot more explanation on how those FICO scores got below 600. So I'm going to go ahead and set the bar, and I'm going to say for the statement, for the case of this argument in this conversation on this video, 600 is the average FICO score that an FHA loan needs to have a minimum. So 600 and above is an FHA FICO score minimum. Now, to document credit, one of the nice things with FHA is if you don't have 3 to 5 open credit items, the loan program was traditionally created for the first-time buyer. So what many lenders did in the past, and I still continue to do, is if the borrower has not established enough lines of credit, we need to get what's called non-traditional credit. Now, what is non-traditional credit? Well, you have a cell phone bill, you have a cable bill, you have a gas and electric bill. These are 3 additional accounts that you can request a letter of credit from those services. Very important to point out, and it's very important to get those items. If you do not have a total of 3 to 5 open lines of credit, get the utilities, get the cell phone bill, get some sort of letter of credit from those services, and that will help improve your status as well as provide them for an FHA loan. Now, the same rules apply in regards to conventional. They want to see 3 to 5 lines of open credit, but the FICO score minimum on most programs, they're going to put the cutoff at 620. So conventional loan has a slightly higher FICO score requirement, but on an FHA loan, again, you go below 600, you're going to need a manual underwrite. When we're talking about credit, you're also going to see on your score, and most lenders should provide you a copy of your credit report. Now, with a copy of your credit report, you have to write a letter of explanation on any items that have been late within the last 12 months. Some lenders require more documentation and letters of explanation if the credit has been late longer. So every lender is different. I'm going to say just across the board, you're going to need to write a letter of explanation on any lates that you have on your credit. Bottom line. Most important thing is do not use a letter of explanation saying, I forgot to mail it. It's not good in the best interest of your qualifications. Please document as much as you can in regards to what happened, where you were at, and most importantly, end the explanation with, it was a circumstance beyond your control and all items have been taken care of. That is the best letter of explanation I can request from any of my borrowers. Explain what happened, how it happened, and how it's not going to happen again. It's a circumstance beyond your control. It's now been resolved. You've moved on. Now, we have 30-day lates, 60-day lates, 90-day lates, and open collections. Under FHA guidelines, any open collection must be resolved and paid in full and must provide proof paid in full. Now, how do you do that if you don't know who it is? Well, on a credit report, it will give you an account name, an account number, a phone number, and a dollar amount of the collection on the report. you don't understand that, contact your loan officer and he'll provide it for you. Now with that comes the conversation, calling the creditor, making arrangements, and requesting proof. You must have proof that you've paid off the account. So be very careful about sending money or wiring a check to pay off the collection account without getting a paid receipt. Very important to point out. Get the proof that it's paid off. Sending a payment and expecting it in the mail is going to slow down your process on getting your credit updated and proving to your lender that you've cleared off all credit items. Now, another thing that's been very popular right now with a lot of lenders is on your credit report, not only does it state your name and your social security number and your date of birth and your lines of credit and your lates if you have any, or lines that you don't have lates on, your FICO scores. You're going to get 3 FICO scores, and they're from 3 separate bureaus. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail of that, but just remember the FICO score requirements. Of the 3, you're going to take the middle score, or whichever is out of the, if you only get 2 scores, whichever is lower of the 2 scores. If it's 3, you take the middle score. And again, on FHA guidelines, we want 600 and above, and on conventional guidelines, we want 620 and above. So, FICO scores are important, collections need to be paid, lates need to be explained. And I think I pretty much covered the credit. Well, either way, I'm going to leave on every email, on every video I have, my email address for any questions that I leave outside. So under the topic of credit, a quick recap. You have FICO scores. You have 3 to 5 lines. You need at least 24 months. I've explained non-traditional credit. I've also explained how to pay off a collection. And I've also explained how to update your credit and make sure you have paid receipts, and how to write a letter of explanation. I hope that helps. And if not, send me your email to my email address, which is rj@gmail.com. I'm sorry, rjloans@gmail.com. Again, my email again is rjloans, LOANS, @gmail.com. Send me your questions. I'll be happy to answer back to you on anything about the FHA conventional guidelines.